Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Dave. This is my 2004 C5 Corvette. If you're into Corvette content, especially C5 content, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Today's video is not about my car. Today's video is about what's behind door number 2. If you did not see the video for the car behind door number 1, check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But today is about door number 2. Good, brother. Alright guys, so this is Scott's C7 Grand Sport manual transmission, right? Yep. It is a manual, which is hard to find here with C7s. So many of them have become automatics, but this is a manual. Tell me a little bit of what you've done in the car. It's not completely stock, correct?
It's not completely stock, although it's definitely not as modded as the C5.
Gotcha.
So most of the things I've done to this car so far have been on the exterior. But in terms of engine mods, the only thing it really has is an AWE X-pipe. And AWE is an interesting company. If you don't know about AWE, they started out doing exhaust and intakes for European cars. They moved into the modern muscle segment a couple years ago. And I've got a really cool video you should check out on my channel where I actually get a chance to tour the AWE World Headquarters and their manufacturing facility. And feel free to cut all that out if you want. So it's got an AWE X-pipe on it. I put the stage 2 winglets on the rear. So there's a video on my channel of that install. I did some red pinstriping on the ducts on each side here, the intake. Some pinstriping down on the side rocker extensions there. And then I put the stage 2 front splitter with the stage 3 winglets on the side, aka the rock and leaf collectors. Other than that, I did black lug nuts, right? I mean, so that's not really
that's like the first thing you gotta do with black wheels, though, is get black lug nuts. One of my pet peeves, by the way.
Yeah, and there's also a video of this car getting compounded, polished, and a ceramic coat put on, and Dave was here for that, so you should definitely check that video out as well. Windows were tinted 20% all the way around, and I don't believe there's been any interior mods yet. No, not yet. This Grand Sport has a couple of unique packages, one of which is the Heritage package, which gives it this red stripe on top. There's also some interior bits that are part of the Heritage package. It also has the hash marks on the fenders as well. And then when we move into the interior, this is a 3LT with the jet black suede interior package. There were about 70 to 75 Grand Sports in 2017 that actually came with this interior package. And we'll show you what that looks like. So you'll notice there's the gloss carbon on the steering wheel and the dash. And you see those stripes there, those were part of the Heritage package. And then you can see the suede pretty much all over the interior, the steering wheel, on the center console, the shift boot, the shifter, the seats. The roof has diamond stitch suede. And then there's suede over on the passenger side, right above the, or on the door panel and right above the glove box as well.
Alright, so here we are in the C7 taking off. Yeah, I think sounds good.
Yeah, that X-pipe.
What? Oh, nice. was that?
That was the auto rev match.
Oh, this thing's gonna make me seem like I know what I'm doing. A little bit shorter of throws. I noticed that right away.
Yeah.
That heads-up display is so crystal clear, man.
Yeah, I mean, all around GM just did such a great job with this 7th generation Corvette. You can really feel it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the seats, even though your seats were upgraded seats, so much nicer. The thigh support's there. All the interior touch, everything you touch is so much nicer in this car.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love the C5 and the C6, and this doesn't take away from that car at all, there's definitely a pretty monumental leap from, you know, those generations, right, to the C7. And again, you feel it as soon as you get in and start driving.
Yeah, and definitely the first thing you notice is I'm not driving a school bus.
Oh yeah.
Like the C5 steering wheel is like.
That's right.
I mean, it's probably not all that much bigger, but it feels like this is just so much smaller than this steering wheel.
So we're in sport mode right now.
Okay.
And when we get underway, we can try out the different modes, and you will see if you actually notice the difference.
Okay.
That's all right. We didn't stop.
You can use climate control in this car.
Yeah, one of the great things is if you're a passenger, you actually have your own settings here for the ventilation on the seat, the heater, and also the temperature.
Now, do you have ventilated seats with the suede seats?
Yes, these are ventilated seats.
Alcantara seats, sorry.
Yep.
I feel like the clutch in this is so much more predictable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I was still struggling with the C5, but...
Feet not, what are you letting off? There you go! Boom! Go that way, you go! We're good. We're good.
This clutch is, I don't know,
It's very smooth engagement.
Yes.
It's positive. You can really feel when this clutch starts to grab.
yes. This car feels so wide. I mean, the hips on this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you either sent me a picture or a text or something. You said, dude, when you look out the mirror and you see those rear quarters, man, that's a nice view right there.
Yeah. You mean with like the ducts? You can see the ducts there, for the coolers.
Yep, and then just the wideness of the rear body.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it being a Grand Sport, it has a lot of the handling characteristics as the Z06, but of course it has the naturally aspirated LT1 engine from the Stingray in it.
Gotcha.
And it's got the MPP exhaust, right? So you can put it in stealth mode, sport mode, track mode. One of the things I did early on when I got this car was I pulled the fuse that actually controls the baffles for the exhaust settings, for the MPP exhaust. And even when this thing was in track mode, under a certain RPM, the baffles would close.
Yeah.
And when the fuse is pulled, they just stay open all the time. And of course now with that AWEX pipe, man, it sounds great.
It does sound great.
Although, you know, we're cruising, we're in 4th gear right now, doing 43 miles, 44 miles an hour. No drone. Quiet as can be in here. We're having a nice conversation, but if you downshifted and got on it, you'd hear it.
Yeah. Now you kind of bring up the next point. You kind of mentioned it a little bit on comparison between this and the Z06. Why a Grand Sport instead of a Z06?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So initially I was looking for a Z06.
Okay.
And when I saw this come up for sale at a dealership that was relatively close to me, I saw the dealership pictures, but you know, oftentimes dealership pictures don't do a great job of, you know, conveying the look of the car. And I knew it was a Grand Sport, not a Z06. I decided, hey, you know, I'll go take a look at it, and if I see it and it moves me emotionally, right, then I might end up going home with it. And so when I got there, I saw this thing pull up behind the dealership. Man, it was love at first sight.
Yeah, I remember seeing your video when the guy pulled it around for the first time.
And holy shit.
Was that your first impression of the car, or was that?
Yeah, that was the first.
Or was
time.
that for YouTube?
No, that was actually the first time I saw it, because when I got to the dealership, you know, I thought I was going to see it right away.
Yeah.
And I went in and talked to somebody, and they said, "Oh no, it's behind. He'll pull it around for you." And yeah, that was the first time I saw the car, and it was like, oh man.
Gotcha.
And then I took it for a drive, and you know, and I felt the power and the power band and the smooth delivery of power in this LT1, and I was hooked, you know. actually had a chance to drive a Z06, and it's a phenomenal car, and the thing is an absolute beast. What I like about the Grand Sport, and I didn't realize this up front, was that the power of the Grand Sport, that 460 horsepower, is a lot more usable in typical spirited driving conditions. The 650 horsepower of the Z06 can quickly overwhelm the rear tires of that car, so you have to tread lightly.
And now looking out that rear view mirror, I mean, with the stage 2 winglets, you said?
Stage 2
on the back.
Yep.
It's a nice looking view right there. I don't know if we can see it on the camera or not, but I'll have to show this a little bit later. Maybe I'll just input it here and edit, but it's a nice view out the back, out the side. It's just an overall, like, it's a menacing car. You can only imagine what it looks like when someone's, when you're driving behind somebody. Which I did experience going out to Carlisle when he came up behind me.
That's right. Well, and that's the funny thing, when you're in this car and you're going on a road trip and you've been in it for 45 minutes, an hour, and you're sitting, you're comfortable, you're cruising, you're listening to music. Sometimes on the highway you forget what you're in, and you're seeing people roll by, like taking pictures or waving to you, or you're just like, oh yeah, that's right.
If you just forget that you're driving a Corvette, you wouldn't know you're driving a Corvette right now.
Right.
Unless you put your foot on the gas pedal. Then it's clear
It's very
what
clear.
you're driving.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the other thing with more modern cars in general, is that there's not as much drama. So like you drove the C5 with the cam and those Evo X seats, there's quite a bit of drama when you're driving that car, right? I mean, it shakes, it's loud, you smell like gas. Let's listen to this thing. Sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good. I'm sure the sound deadening in this car is a little bit better than the C5 as well.
It is. So you're a little bit more insulated or removed from a lot of that drama. And I didn't know how I was gonna, like that, right? Because I really enjoy driving the C5 because of the drama.
Yeah.
But it turns out I really like driving this car.
Yeah. The C5 is definitely more raw
Yeah, absolutely.
in terms of just the rawness of a car, and this is a little bit more refined.
Yep.
That's the perfect way to put that.
Yeah, in fact, we should put this thing in track mode so you can feel things stiffen up a little bit. You'll feel that the shocks will stiffen up a little bit and the steering will stiffen up.
Okay.
A little bit more assist on it. So go ahead and take this controller knob here and just turn it to the right once. There you go. Now you're in track mode. And you let me know what you feel differently. Feel it?
A little bit. It's definitely stiffer. Not light years of a difference,
Yep.
but ever so slightly.
You know where I notice it the most? When I look at the front fenders, those big front fenders, you can see them kind of bouncing a little bit on the bumps more so when you're in sport. So if you look out kind of the corner of your eye there, sometimes you can see them like,
I got you.
you won't notice much of a difference. This road is pretty smooth right here.
Yeah.
But when we get on the next road, I think you'll notice the, I mean, I can feel it over here. I'm getting kind of jostled around a little bit more.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely not as smooth. Not that a Corvette is a Cadillac, but it was definitely smoother in the sport setting than the track setting. And then you pulled the fuse, so there's no difference in exhaust mode.
Correct. Between the modes.
Gotcha. But if you didn't pull the fuse, there'd be a big difference.
So what you can do inside of my Link unit is you can decouple the exhaust mode and the drive mode from each other. The steering and the exhaust from the drive mode.
Gotcha.
So by default, you put it in tour mode, it'll quiet down the exhaust. You put it in track mode, it's going to get louder. And the steering's going to change. But you can decouple all of those things and
Nice. So you can have like a tour
customize.
mode with the exhaust open.
You can. Yep. Or you can just pull the fuse.
Gotcha.
So last time we were on this road, we were in my C5, and if you guys haven't seen that video on Dave's channel, make sure you check that one out. He takes a spin in my fixed roof coupe.
Yeah.
And we kind of did the same route here. So I'm wondering now if you can think about the differences in the way that a C7 handles compared to a C5 on this type of road.
so much tighter, so much more planted to the ground. It's just easier to drive than the C5 is.
Yeah, you know, when I drive this car on roads like this, coming out of a corner, I often think, man, I could have gone faster.
Oh, definitely.
I could have taken that corner faster, and in fact, sometimes I can hear the car telling me, dude, you could have went faster.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, this vehicle itself, and you know, the limits of this vehicle are very, very difficult to approach on public roads. You really have to be at a racetrack in order to exploit what this car is truly capable of, which is, you know, one of the other reasons why I decided on a Grand Sport over a Z06. You know,
You can't even push the limits of this car, you know.
Right.
So therefore, you wouldn't even come close to a Z06.
Yep.
All right, guys. So me and Scott had to switch spots because again, I got stuck at a red light with a WRX behind us, and he was laughing the entire time because I could not get going. Dan, again, you know all about this. So, C7 was a lot of fun. Thank you, Scott, for letting me drive your C7 and also your C5. So if you haven't checked out the C5 video, go check that out as well. Again, sub Scott over at Team 512. Great content on the C5, on the C7, and he goes to a bunch of nice cars and coffee. Sometimes he's driving Huracans and
Gallardo?
And the Gallardo.
Manual. Gated.
I mean, this guy, he's driving cool cars. So check him out. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.